Mr. Hill, take this question first, and it has to do with public employees' pensions. The state has adopted some pension reforms for public employees. Is this enough, or should more be done?
Well, I think we took a major step in the reforms that were passed. It was the governor's had his 12-point program that he suggested, and the legislature worked through a very public process in looking and in debating and discussing those reforms that were included. Some of the reforms were the governor found, and with the legislature, that we could implement greater ones, different ones, and receive greater savings, and that was implemented as well in this budget, in the reforms that the legislature voted on and the governor signed. There was a tremendous amount of reform, $50 billion to $60 billion in savings over the next number of years. The difference is that there is more that can be done to reform the pension issue and situation in California. Many local governments are struggling and straddled with very high pension costs. And the post this legislation the legislation will make changes in the future for those new hires. And collective bargaining will take an effect for those already existing employees and those who are continuing to work for local government and the state. So there are areas of pension that still can be worked on, and we can still garner and gain some savings with that in the future. We're not finished, and I don't think the public feels that we are finished or should be finished.
Sally Lieber.
Well, I want to start by acknowledging that in local communities all over California, government workers have given up some of the pension benefits that they had for the good of the community, and we have examples of that here locally. But there's just much more that has to be done. And it can't be just rank and file workers that bear the brunt of that, but it's got to be the executives in government. And we've got to do more to close the loopholes on double dipping on pensions where an individual ends up retiring at what I now that I'm over 50 consider an appallingly young age, and is able to go out and get another job and have twice their salary on top of that. We have to look at that situation, but there's much, much more that has to be done. I think an even bigger issue than that, as big as the pension issue is transparency on our state budget. It's just not something that we can continue to do, that even the legislative committees that have oversight over our budget don't have access to full information about the budgets and the performance of our state agencies. And that's something that we have to take on and get a better handle on.